spinning. Now we're live.
And we're live.
Or so we believe.
Oh, we think we are.
Yeah, we're going to think it. We don't know for a fact. I'm going on the assumption, but then again, this could be the dead internet theory, and we're just bots.
I like that idea too. Hell.
Just going to point it out, you know.
Well, if anybody's out there, please drop by and say hello to us so that we
If
know
you're brave
that,
enough.
yeah, so that we know we're not alone, right?
Uh huh.
Mm hmm. Because we're both
I'm
losing
just
our
getting
mind.
everything set up.
Yeah, because we're losing our mind today. It's
Oh,
been a
it was
very,
fun.
yes, very bizarre day today. Crazy B and I did not talk till maybe what?
Just before noon.
No.
Noon my time.
Yes. Okay.
It
Uh,
was noon my time.
yeah, it was late. That normally that we talk earlier than what we're
It's
doing
just been
now.
one of those days. Like, it was funny though when literally turned around and said, "I feel like I'm taking Benadryl and I can't. I'm
Well,
fighting going to
no,
sleep."
tell
And
the
it's like,
whole
"Oh,
story. Tell the whole story. Don't try to just drop, I did this. You got to tell the whole story.
I am not good at telling whole stories because half of it's still missing because I'm not awake." Just so you know.
Okay. So the whole story would be our girl here took Benadryl what last night?
No, 8 o'clock this morning, so it's just starting to wear off.
Oh. That's even worse. So
Yes.
then you had it then again when?
No, I took it last night and then again this morning. I only took it at 8:30, but I took 75 milligrams because my allergies were really bad. So that's why I'm still
Oh,
out of it, and I don't remember half of anything I've done in the last, couple of hours.
oh,
Yeah,
crazy B, that's a lot.
I had
No,
to.
no wonder why it explains a lot.
Yeah, I'm
Shit.
not with it right now. And hi, Blue
No.
Rose in the chat.
Hey Blue, how you doing?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not joking when I say I am out of it. This medicine's just starting to wear off.
mm-hmm.
No
Well,
wonder why I've been struggling to stay awake all frickin' morning
well,
and afternoon.
Blue and I had a what I thought was like a 3 a.m. conversation, and it actually was like around 10 p.m. And I don't know what the hell it was about, the conversation was about at this point, but I was insistent that she was typing a document that we needed, and it had a blue screen, like a light blue, sky blue screen with white typing. Okay? And we're going back and forth. She finally says to me, D, I'm wearing blue pants and a red top. I'm like, what? And I'm like, all this time, all this going back and forth, and I'm saying that you're typing, on a blue screen with white print, and you're telling me that you're wearing blue pants with a red top. Make that make sense.
No, thank you. I can't think straight. You have fun. Good luck. I'm praying for you because I can't think enough to
I
give you
love
an
it.
explanation. So y'all are on
Okay.
your own.
Okay, 75 milligram Benadryl.
Yeah. And
And then I call you, and while both me and you were out of it, I physically, not mentally, well, last night I mentally was out of it because I physically have been out of it taking care of JJ. So I just called Eric a couple minutes ago and I said, could you please send EJ home? He's like, I knew you were going to do that. He's all pissed off. And he goes, that's why I can't make any money. And I'm like, Eric, it's been 9 days. I'm like, it's like I'm running a marathon, or I'm preparing for, some type of event, or something. Everything is burning. You know what I mean? Like my legs burn. I just feel
You're
like I'm.
building up
Yeah,
muscle that you've lost over the last 8 years.
exactly, exactly. Like today, he knocked a drink out of my hand, right? And it spilled all over my pants. So I've been sitting in my underwear because I
Oh,
don't want to I don't want to go across to the other side of the
been
house.
there, done that
Yeah.
multiple times. Like,
Yeah.
screw it. I'm in my
Yeah.
room, the kids are at school or whatever, or where they're at work or whatever. I'm not getting dressed unless I have to.
Well,
Yep.
the I didn't want to leave him laying on the couch and having to go across the house to get a pair of, sweatpants, or, a pair of jeans or whatever. I don't know what the heck he's going to do, even though I have the extra hassock, pushed up
Uh-huh.
against there. I don't know if he's going to roll, or, all of a sudden get up and walk. You know what I mean? So I'm
Well,
like,
at 9 weeks old, it's kind of unlikely. I mean, almost
I,
10 weeks old, but it's,
I,
still.
you never know, right? Right? You
Uh,
never know. So I was like, I'll just sit here in my underwear, and it's cold as shit over at this on this part of the house. And so, you know,
grab a blanket.
I that's what I did, and he's mad. And I'm like, "Oh wow." I said, so EJ, luckily they're only working like 20 minutes away. And so he came home and just took the baby, and then he called me right before you you went live, and he goes, "That's just great." And I'm like, "What's the problem now?" He goes, "He just took a power shit." And I'm like, "Oh well."
Yep. Perfect timing for you,
Hmm.
not so much for dad.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty funny, but I'm telling
Hmm.
you, I am like, I'm totally discombobulated physically. I just don't know which end is up.
You
You know,
got the physical end. My mental is worse. Like, fuck this shit. I can't think today. Don't make me think. You be the physical end and I'll be the no, you be the mental end and I'll be the physical end, right?
okay, that's fine. That'll work. Oh gosh, I'm telling you, it's just crazy what
It
is,
is.
like when I talked to you, man, you had me laugh. I couldn't even laugh because he was
Because
sleeping.
he was sleeping, and I
Uh-huh.
felt bad about that. I remember feeling bad because you were laughing, and
Uh-huh.
I said something about you sound like you're snorting cocaine because you're
Yes.
trying not to laugh out loud. I remember
Yep.
that.
Yes. I was laughing so hard. I had my mouth covered with my hand, and I was laughing so hard at what she was saying. She's like, and then I started snorting, which I normally do not do. And she goes, "You sound like somebody that's snorting cocaine." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't know. I
I'm
guess,
sorry. It's
I
just
guess
been one
she,
of those
yeah,
days.
I guess she's been around people that have done that. I
And
had no,
worse. That
but
and worse. I don't do it myself, but I have been the designated driver for the partiers.
okay.
That's
I've
how I
never,
know.
yeah, I've never experienced that anywhere that I've ever been.
Oh,
So,
wow. You've lived a
yeah.
very sheltered life.
I
You are
know.
a lucky one. I have seen and been around things that I wish I could forget.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a miracle I'm alive. We'll just say that.
All I
And that
know,
was without me doing any of the hardcore drugs. That was
right.
just me being the assistant by driving people where they needed to go because they were too messed up to get anywhere.
Wow.
Yes.
Sad.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
all I know is you've been jacked up. You were messed up today. And it was
Still
just
am.
funny.
I'm finally coming out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do I feel like I'm in a Benadryl phase? And then I'm like, oh, that's right. I took 3 frickin' pills this morning of Benadryl.
And see,
That makes sense.
but you didn't
I'm a
tell me that.
dumbass.
You didn't tell me that. I'm just finding this out just now.
I thought I told you I took it at 8
No,
this morning when we were
no,
laughing. That's why you were laughing so hard, is because
no.
I
You
thought I was
just
a
told me you
dumbass.
took, no, you just told me you took them this morning. You didn't tell me you took
Oh,
3. So that makes
yeah,
it
it was
even worse.
75 milligrams that I had to take.
Crazy bee. I
I
don't
know how to
even.
safely dose it. I don't do it all the time, 4 or 5 times a day. No, it's just as absolutely needed, and nothing else was working.
Okay.
And this is
You.
why I don't suggest anyone follow my lead, because I will be accountable for my kidneys, not yours. Do not do as I do unless you talk to your doctor first. And I've been
Right.
raised in this shit, and I've worked in medicine, so I kind of know the repercussions of my decisions. We're
Oh,
good.
I'm telling you, between you and Blue, I,
I don't think she even did anything wrong. I think you might have just been out of it from all the exhaustion.
that no, she was doing something. That's all I know. She was doing
She was
something.
talking to you and wondering why you're insisting she's typing a document when she's just sitting there talking to you.
I don't know. She was doing something to provoke my uh I don't know. To
Were you
provoke
maybe
something.
okay? As much as you think you were awake, was it a dream? One of
No,
those waking dream type of things where you think you're awake and you're doing things and you're talking to
no.
people, but really you're not there?
No, we were talking. We were actually talking. We were on the phone actually talking. So that's the problem. But then she was, you know, messing with me somehow. She was deliberately aggravating me, agitating me. She knows she was typing something on a blue page with white letters.
I'm
Okay.
beginning to wonder. Then again, who am I to talk? I don't know what the fuck I did this morning.
That's right, you don't. So I think probably if we investigated her cell phones, she probably has her settings where she has a blue page, standing for blue rose with white lettering. I'll bet you any money that's what she has setting.
Well, I have my Word document on my Linux set up with an orange background
Yeah,
and black lettering.
yeah. Okay, what'd she say? Oh, she's like, I am an
I'm an
angel.
angel. Uh-huh.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah. We're gonna send investigators, Blue. You're under investigation. Yep. We're
Just
crazy.
don't send me. I'd get lost halfway there and wonder what the fuck I was supposed to do.
Yeah. She'd be like, yeah, you would make a poor investigator, especially, if
Well,
you had.
sometimes, but other times I'm really good at it. But today
Right.
would be a very bad day to do
Uh-huh.
it.
Yes. I'm telling you, one thing it was funny. I can't even say everything, all the stuff you said. It was funnier than another. I mean, I really need to start recording this stuff as it occurs, which my motto: do not record me, do not take screenshots of me, or if you do, you will face legal action. So I tend not to do that type of stuff.
Mhm.
But in certain circumstances, like today with Blue and with you, they were warranted. I'm telling you, we, uh, Blue and I, have no idea what happened in the conversations, and I can't even tell you what you said today. I had to cover my mouth in order not to wake that baby up. It was funny. It was
And
so
I
fun.
was not trying to be funny. It
I
just
know, but
happened.
it just happened. I know it was natural. It was just so freaking funny.
Well, the
And
second it dawned on me, like, "Oh, fuck, I did take Benadryl. No wonder why I feel like
right,
this."
right.
You know, it
And
makes
we were like,
sense.
and you were like, we we didn't even know if we were gonna have a show.
I still am not sure how we're gonna pull this off.
It was
Uh,
so you guys thought yesterday was bad. We have no idea what's gonna happen today. So
I make no promises.
right, my and then the other funny thing was, so I've been having this breathing issue, and uh we were talking about having the inhaler and blah 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 about the inhaler. And so I get up to clean everything up off this little tray table I have in the living room while the baby's here. And I pick up my tablet, the phone, and get the cup, my water cup. And I go, "You've got to be kidding me." And sitting right next to the glass of water is the frickin' inhaler. And I'm like, "No, it can't be. It's not possible.
Oh,
How?
yes, it is. You would
Why?"
be surprised at the places I find my inhaler.
Well, I don't remember putting it there.
Well, you don't gotta remember putting it anywhere. The thing is they just get wherever they go.
Yeah. And I mean, so it made its way there. And
Mhm.
then, and
Somehow, magically.
yeah, magically. And then the thing that I might start crying about that I told you about earlier is, so the baby really takes after the looks of my dad. And my dad was a real hard ass. Uh, my dad was extremely abusive. My dad was extremely violent. He uh, oftentimes was in many fights. He didn't graduate high school. Uh, he was he was a violent man, and the baby looks so much like him. And EJ says to me today, Mom, man, I'm going to start crying. He goes, "I don't even know if I could say it. I told you, crazy B."
I know. Just breathe.
He said that he thinks that the baby is here in a reincarnation of my dad, so that my dad, this time around, could receive the love that he didn't get the first time.
That's a nice it's a good thought. It's not
It's
necessarily a
very
bad
nice.
thing,
I know,
and
but
it's
it's
one of those good emotions that
right,
people don't usually hear or get to
right,
be through.
right.
And
And
it makes sense.
it does. And he said to me, "Mom, and that's why the baby gives you a fucking hard time during the day," which makes sense. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
he is, you know, uh, cranky and fussy, and all of the issues that we have, and the screaming and the crying and all that. It's that for we're here to teach him what love is all about. And
Yep.
to hear that come from my son, who was extremely close to my dad, I mean, yeah, extremely close to him,
Mhm.
is just mind boggling. And I pray that if there's any truth to any of that, that in all sincerity, that I hope that's true. I hope that
Mhm.
that connection can be made and met, and that baby gets the love and support that anybody would be there to get. It just was extremely it melted my heart, I guess.
It's
You
an
know,
emotional
yeah. Mm-hmm.
kick in the
Yeah.
forehead.
Yes, it was extremely. Especially to hear it from a man. You know what I mean? That
Mhm.
otherwise you typically don't hear that kind of stuff. Come from a man, and I thought it was very sweet. And if there is any truth to all of that, you know, I will love that baby, and I already do. Uh, love that
You'll love them
baby
even more.
even more. Yep. So,
Well, you should just pretend that that's the circumstance and treat the baby extra super awesome
right,
without spoiling him, but still the love and support.
right, right. And then just beat
Mhm.
the shit out of him every day.
No,
I
we're
know.
not gonna do
I'm
that.
just teasing. I'm
I
just
know. I
teasing.
know you are. But for the
Shit.
sake of the internet, who most people can't take a joke anymore
Yes,
on,
yes,
they don't
YouTube
understand
and Rumble. We're
sarcasm.
just, yes, we're just teasing. Uh, Here, that's not
There is
that
absolutely no sincerity in that.
correct, correct. But yeah, he's So it was nice that he came home and took him. So now Eric's a little bit ticked off about it, but oh well, he'll have to get over it.
Yep.
So
It
that
sucks, but you need a break. I mean, come
yes,
on.
I know. I mean, it's only been 9 days. I, you know what I mean? I'm like,
9 days out of how many years? 36 months? 9 out of 36 months?
yeah, but still, you think you'd be able to handle 9 days? You know what I mean?
Not in our health shape. Hell no, I couldn't. Are you out of your
That's
mind? I'd
true.
be. It's
That's
like, yep, I'll come over, give the kid hugs, kisses, and play, and give them all kinds of presents. But after that, they're yours. I can't do it.
that's true.
And I ain't going to tell my kids what to do either. I'm going to be like, y'all figure it out. I'm going back home. Have fun. If you need me to say hi, if you want my advice, you know where to find me. I am not sticking my 2 cents in.
Right.
But there you go. Have at it. It's your kid.
True. That's true.
So, kind of basically the way my dad did it as grandpa. I'll
Right.
come over and spoil the shit out of him and hug him and all that. But then you get to deal with them, and then you're on your own. And if you want my opinion, I'll give it to you. After that, have fun. That's
Right.
the fundamentals of it.
Right. Well, you better hope that I don't fall asleep during
You better
podcast.
hope I fall asleep.
you know.
Remember, end broadcast is at the top. If I fall asleep, just end broadcast.
You're going to go out because of Benadryl, and I'm going to go just for sheer exhaustion. Can
Yeah.
anybody in the chat take over? You
No,
guys,
they can't get in.
wait,
They
I
can't get
know,
into
but
the studio.
right, but they could stay live, right? I mean, we could keep it running live for however long, and the chat could just keep going, right?
They would be staring at a screen and listening to me snore.
Right, but they could still keep talking in the chat.
Oh yeah, they could keep
Yeah.
talking until
All
we hit
right.
end
So
broadcast.
that's the expectation then. And the only one I see in so far is Blue. So Blue is the head chatter today, and it's her responsibility. Although I heard she was tired herself and wanted to go to sleep. But Blue, you got to stay up until you get somebody to take your place. So we need a head chatter today to make sure that the podcast actually runs today. That's what we need.
Yeah. If I pass out before you, D, just hit end broadcast.
Yes, I know that
And
much.
in the event that we're both out of it, have fun in the chat. Just don't get us banned. Okay, just have fun. Screw this shit. I might be out of it.
Oh my
Oh,
god, that would
we
be
have a 19-minute video, almost an hour-long video, and yeah, let's have at
then
it. You
after
guys have
that,
fun.
oh my god. Could you only imagine if that happened?
If I pass out and you pass out, y'all have fun. That's all I gotta say. Have at it. Just don't let the feds know.
Right. Okay, wait. What I said that to you, D. Wait,
I don't remember
what's
where
Blue saying?
that was
Send
from. It
one
was from 5.
send one investigator in particular. Okay. I don't know who she's talking about, but now she's laughing. I don't know what she's talking about. We have designated her as head chatter. That's all I know. She's head
I'm
chatter.
okay with it.
Okay,
Just
you're done.
don't
Okay.
expect me to be consciously responsible for anything that happens in the chat after the loss of consciousness.
I love
Just
it.
gonna put that out there.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this is too freaking funny. Okay, Blue, you
Mhm.
have any comments about this? About being head chatter? We'll see if she responds. She says,
I'll tell you later. Okay, that's scary.
oh shit. You still got to be head chatter. You don't have a choice. She's got to be head chatter because nobody else
Oh,
is in the chat to take over. You
oh,
know,
I'm sure they'll pop in as the day goes on, but our usual group.
yeah, I'm telling you. What do you got up?
Either
Anything
way, though,
else?
today should be entertaining.
Yeah, anything else you got going on? Did
Not that I
there
can think of.
wasn't there a couple things I said up? Wait, she goes. I can be head chatter for a bit until my. Oh, okay. She has a business call. Okay, so she's not available after pretty soon, so she could get.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Art.
Oh,
Art's
Art, let me
in.
consult with my attorney first.
So he's been listening in. You chicken shit,
Yep, he's
you.
been listening in. We've got 2 on YouTube and 1 on Rumble that are
There you
listening in
go.
right now.
Okay, so we got two. Art's been a chicken. He's been lurking. And he's talking to his attorney first. I say we.
Mhm.
Okay, he's 3 against 1, right, Blue? You're in on this? Art is head chatter.
Yeah, whatever.
Busy.
Busy today.
He's busy today. Yeah, right. Doing what? Mopping the floors again? Oh,
My floors need to be mopped if anyone wants to come over. I don't think I can get my kids to do it today.
yeah. Well, go into a Benadryl haze where you're crazy and just
If I
flip
wouldn't have
out.
been sleeping all this morning, I probably would have had time to jump in the shower really quick. Now I'm going to have to do it afterwards.
Yeah, I
Who
wanted to get a shower today too, but I was told I wasn't allowed. So
said that? That wasn't
Eric,
me.
that no, Eric
Oh,
said that
he
because
doesn't want you to fall and get hurt again and
it,
break the
right,
already broken shoulders again.
re-break them, correct. So
Yeah, sounds
anyway,
about logical to me. I really can't say I blame him.
well, I haven't even had the surgery on them yet. So what? How much? What would happen?
Actually, you could do a lot of damage, re-breaking both the collarbones and all that again, and re-dislocating. You can do a lot of damage.
Whatever. Um, didn't I send you up a couple things small things to go over?
Just that video about Morgan Freeman's opinion on Obama.
Yeah, I thought you said we covered that. Didn't you
No, we
bring?
didn't cover it. I said I already
Oh,
had it set aside.
oh, you wanted to put it with the Obama stuff, huh?
If you want, we can do that. If not, I can just pull it up.
Well, if we're trying to waste time and You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we have 2 full videos that, like I
okay,
said, we're gonna be breaking down and sticking our 2 cents in on, hopefully.
that's that's if we can talk,
We're about to
right?
find out.
Okay,
So,
well,
it's up to you if you wanna show it really
I
quick or
don't
not, or
care.
we can save it for
I don't
Obama
even
Day.
know how boring what we are planning on is. So I
Well,
don't
you're the
care.
one who sent me these articles that had videos
I
attached,
know,
so
but I don't at this point I don't really care. So, you know, I don't care what we do. Play the Morgan Freeman one. I think it's has an appropriate position to it uh with what we've been going through with the Democrats and the party in general.
uh-huh.
I think he makes a good point that sums up at least what we've heard to date, right? From the Jasmine Crockett's, Ilhan Omar, Presley, all of them. So maybe it is appropriate, Crazy B, that we throw that up there now, if you're okay with it.
Yeah, if it's the same video that I have, I don't know if it's the same video. Hold on. Let me really quick watch the one you sent. I
Oh,
thought it was the same video, but what you're describing is not what I saw in the video of him talking about Obama.
I'm pretty sure it probably is, but who knows? One moment, please. While
The
Crazy B.
Obamas, not the first black president.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that one. And um, hold on. Yeah, I have this video, but not in a well, it's not the same format, but it's still the video. Yeah, I can pull this up really quick.
Okay.
Here we are.
Wait. Art, hold on. Art says, okay, Blue is saying that she has no comment. Art is saying my car registration is screwed up, so I'll be leaving class early to deal with that. Uh huh.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, we want
Real world priorities are, they got to take precedence.
and we want proof.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they'll have the date on it. He's just trying to get out of being head chatter. That's all.
All right, let's hit play. Ah,
Oh, I'm tired.
Obama is not our first black president. Can you explain to people what you were talking about?
You know, people are saying Obama's the first black president, and he's not. He's the first mixed race president. This whole Obama thing that everybody seems to forget that he had a mama and she was white.
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean, if you got two different colored parents, they just conveniently forget that Barack had a mama and she was white, very white, American, Kansas, middle of America. There was no argument about who he is and what he is. America's first black president hasn't arisen yet. He's not America's first black president. He's America's first mixed race president.
I like that he puts it out there in fact.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as much as he doesn't like Trump, he still didn't like Obama's false representation.
Correct.
Yeah.
And really, how many times have we heard that he was mixed race?
Oh, we've known it. It's been well known.
I know we've known it,
But they
but
don't like to announce it when they have to
correct.
when it benefits them.
Right.
It benefits him in certain. He'll talk about being mixed in one category, and then the next day he's at this other thing, and oh yeah, I'm all black. No, you're
Right.
not.
Right.
Again, and when I actually got asked once because I did vote for him the first time, they're like, "Well, why would you vote for him? Because he was black?" I'm like, "No, because I actually liked some of the policies he was saying he was going to deal with." And then he
Uh-huh.
turned out he wasn't going to do jack shit, and he wasted time and lied. So I didn't vote for him the second go around. But yeah,
Yep.
that was way back when. And yeah, people were harassing me like, "Oh, you just voted him for because he was black." Bull fucking shit, I did. I actually paid attention to shit. I'm
Mm.
not the typical liberal white chick. Believe it or not, I can think for myself. There is a difference.
Well, that all depends on were you Benadryl up that day or what?
No, no. I
Okay.
that was when I was still well capable of working, thinking, and
Uh-huh.
doing
There
things.
you go. All right, I'm just teasing you. You know that.
Oh, I know you are, and I ain't worried about it. But no, people were trying to make it sound like I was a liberal white chick that just wanted to
Yeah,
vote for the black man. No, the fuck I don't.
right.
I am voting for who's best suited to run the presidency.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, no, because a lot of white people were like, oh, we got to vote for the black man. No, the fuck you don't. You should be voting for who's best suited to run the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, yep, live and learn. I have learned not to vote for him again. And well, I don't ever have to. And I didn't all three times that he was running the country. Well, two of the three times. And yes, I said it. People can
I
bite
heard.
me. We know
Yeah.
he was in that earpiece, like you said in that interview with Barbara Walters.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
All righty then. So what do we got up next?
Um, this was a podcast thing. I managed to get it down to 19 minutes and some odd seconds, and basically, it's just a Trump bashing spree. Um,
And
so we're gonna break apart their
okay,
arguments if
so
we
hold
can.
on. So you got these smiley faces there. What who's
Oh,
it
this
with?
is audio only, so I had to put something for visual.
Okay, so audio only meaning that I have to listen.
Yeah, you're
Uh,
not gonna see anything but our logo and the smiley faces and the thumbs up and the hearts rolling around.
shit.
Sorry,
I know, but that means I gotta
I
pay.
can't help it. It was a
I
pod.
know, but I
It was
gotta
a
pay
radio
attention.
podcast. There is absolutely no video to this. It is just sound. And that's why I put something there
I
to,
see.
hopefully keep people focused a little.
that
I make no
this is
promises on my talent here.
this is the wrong day to do something that requires focusing. You know,
Just
but
don't close your eyes and don't get hypnotized by the little smileys rolling across.
I love it. Don't close your eye. Okay.
But don't
Uh,
get hypnotized either.
oh.
You got to look away at times.
Okay. I'm gonna pick a spot. I'll watch the ceiling fan that's spinning or some. You
Okay.
know, I hate more than anything uh this type of learning. By the way,
I know, but this is the only way I could make it work
I gotcha.
without getting in serious trouble.
I hear you. I gotcha. All right, we'll do our best. So Miss can't listen to a
Audio only program of some sort.
correct, and Miss Benadryl out of her mind are going to attempt to comment on the following. So hit it, crazy bee.
Yep. And remember, you said this, so anything that's terrible
I
about
I know that's the kicker.
yep,
I,
just gonna this to me.
all I
And
have to do is say why. Why do I do this to ourselves? Okay, go for it, girl.
alrighty.
This is On Point. I'm Megna Chakrabarty.
So
Oh
I think it's a
wait,
great gesture from
stop!
Guitar. I appreciate it very
Wait,
much.
wait a minute. You got it on two speed or one and a half?
One and a half, and I couldn't help it. Otherwise, it would have been a 40-minute video.
Oh my god! And I don't know if I could do it. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Uh huh. So just tell me to pause at any point and back it up if I need to.
Jesus.
I'm just trying to make it work. You
Okay,
sent
hold
it to
on,
me.
hold up. Okay.
Get
And
some
there's
caffeine
Blue
and
going. Blue said
focus.
she can't see the video.
How?
Okay, because there isn't one, Blue. Okay, wait a second, Crazy Bee.
Hold on, let
In
me
all
do this.
seriousness, can we flip and do the other one first?
Yeah, we could do the other one first. And if
The
anything, I
the
could try and
longer
slow
the
that one
other
down.
video that we have first. Can
Well,
we
worst
play
case is I
that
can turn
and do
around
the
and
audio one later?
that's what I was trying to tell you.
Like later
Is
tomorrow?
evidently you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Earth to Crazy Bee. Are you
Nope, she
with
can't
us?
hear me. See, this isn't my fault. It is not my
Okay,
fault,
I
folks.
cannot hear you.
I know you
So I'm
can't hear
going
me.
out and coming back in. I'll be
I've been
right back.
suggesting as much for about 2 minutes now, Oh, Lord. You should have been able to. There wasn't much of a video to see. It was just our logo and stuff. And I'll slow it down really quick. I'll go ahead and edit that up to slow it down a little bit. Hi, darling daughter. How can I help you? Oh, your phone has been very charged, my dear. You're very welcome. This is going to take a few minutes to get edited. In the meantime, yeah, there was no actual video to it, unfortunately, because, it was a radio podcast. Yes, darling daughter?
There's no soda left.
No, there is not.
What day is it?
It's what is today? Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting for Dee to come back into the studio. Okay, I got the video fixed. I was able to make some adaptive measures. I don't know where the heck Dee is. She just ran away instead of coming back. There's Dee. I thought you were going off on a vacation.
I was trying to. Don't even ask the problem that I was having. But
That's all right. I fixed the other video. It's going to be a total of 23 minutes ish now that I got it fixed.
that's the long one, right?
No, that's the shorter of the two. This one is 30 minutes.
I'm confused. Anyway, play whatever you got, okay? It's not the
Okay.
it's not it's the it's not the
Audio only one.
thank
This has
you.
got some visual with
I
it.
couldn't get it out. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay.
All
All right,
right.
go for it.
Start with by raising a problem that you and I were talking about just before we began, which is in the Trump era, there's just too much bad news to keep track of. There's one appalling incident after another. There's one absurd incident after another. There's this pencil matter. And so the way I thought to set you going was I think I can group the things that have happened in this first term into 6 major headers, of which the corruption theme is the last and the binding one. So the first is attacks on due process and individual liberties for disfavored entities and persons. So that's the attacks on law firms. That's the removal of due process from people who are suspected of being in the country illegally, and bags are put on their head and they're sent to El Salvador without a hearing. The second category, so the first is attacks on due process and rights for disfavored. The second is impunity for the favored. So pardons for the January 6th criminals, lots of pardons for Republican office holders who get caught up in corruption charges. There seems to be one of those a week. So due process for the disfavored, impunity for the favored, then a foreign policy that attacks allies and
I want to point out his complaints about the favored for the Republicans and disfavored for the illegals. What do you guys think Biden did? He threw them in without due process. All of the J6ers had no due process. And what did he do? He pardoned how many people with preemptive pardons? Fauci, Hunter, Schiff. What's that other chick? That one chick that he offered a
Cheney.
pardon to?
Cheney.
Cheney. All
Yep.
preemptive
Yep.
crimes. Just want to point that out. Biden, Trump is no better than Biden. Okay, when it comes to
What do
the
you
pardons.
mean? Wait, whoa. I'm just going to
When it
argue.
comes to removing people without due process from the Societal of America, both
Yeah,
have done it. When it comes to unreasonable pardons, who the fuck pardons Kwame Kilpatrick after what the hell he did to Detroit?
right. But
That was Trump who pardoned him. Yeah, Trump pardoned Kwame Kilpatrick. I have an issue with it.
yeah,
And I don't know how well you remember what happened in Detroit under Kwame Kilpatrick's era.
no, not.
Oh, crime was rampant. Dude, like he had a prostitute over and his wife beat the hell out of her with a baseball bat. Body
Oh,
went missing.
damn.
Witnesses said that happened.
Yeah.
Nothing ever came of it.
And why? So why the pardon? Was that the
Well, he
auto
was
pen?
pardoned for his racketeering and
Right.
mishandling of finances. They
Was that?
couldn't get him on the murder raps, but
Yeah.
they were able to get him on racketeering.
Was that the
And then
auto
Trump
pen?
goes and pardons him.
Yeah. Was that the auto pen though?
No, that was Trump consciously pardoning a very corrupt individual.
That I would call him
Dude
out on
had
that.
custom artwork in his jail cell.
I'd call him out on that. You know that? I really would. I'd be like, why?
Yeah, that's what I would like to know. Why?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I lived just a block out of Detroit during this time,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
When Kwame was destroying Detroit, and then Trump goes and pardons him, I'm like, something ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
Did Trump not read what this guy was in trouble for, and what he was suspected of, and what his wife was suspected of?
Well, then,
Like,
I mean, that's definitely grounds for calling somebody out. You know,
yeah,
I mean, that truly is in a press conference. If Trump's going to answer questions, that is truly one that is, why did you do it?
nobody does. Nobody
And why
does.
not? You know?
Because he was
Yeah,
a
well,
black
I'm just saying.
mayor of Detroit, and nobody wants to step on toes, especially his toes. Because what happened to people who stepped on his toes? I mean, like, people disappeared. There was a massive influx of missing bodies and missing people. Bodies never found during his
Mhm.
era. You wanted to build in Detroit, you had to go through him, and you better have some money to grease those palms if you wanted to build in Detroit during that time.
Yeah.
It was no different
Oh,
than what the mafia did to New York.
right.
So yeah, I have an issue with Trump on that, not including Operation Warp Speed and half a dozen other things.
Well,
I
then,
like I've said, I have my reasons to not like him.
and that's fine. I apologize, Crazy B, for not knowing all of that information, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, you don't live in Detroit, but I
uh,
mean, I wouldn't expect you to know the full story. But yeah, there was an investigation into his wife for potentially beating the shit out of a prostitute he brought to the house.
wow. So, in that particular case, right,
She was never found, by the way.
I would be writing, on Truth Social, or I'd be writing on X. I want the answers to these questions.
It'll never happen. Because Trump isn't really much different than what we've already had,
I know,
except
but
he
what I'm
comes
saying
in and
is,
shines
why
a
isn't
spotlight and then does nothing
I
about it.
would be posting the questions on Truth Social myself.
Oh, yeah. But no one's going to answer them. I hate to say it. It's not going to get
Okay,
answered.
so in my mind, well, I guess, that's all very, very significant. However, how, what's worse? What Biden did with Fauci, Schiff, Cheney, the J6ers, and everybody else that he did, you know what I mean? Was what he did worse than what Trump did?
And that's why I say they're equally messed up, just in different perspectives.
Yes.
Trump probably didn't do a lot of research into it to know what was
Right,
going on and just signed off. Biden, well, we know was a vegetable.
right.
And Obama was the one pushing, and the staffers. And of course, the staffers are going to take the fall. They're never going to admit that Obama pushed them. They're just going to they're going to take the fall. They'll go for it because
Hmm.
they got to protect him. Hmm.
Well,
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't think about. A lot of people don't know it, and that's why I said I have my own bones to pick with Trump. He's
right,
not perfect, but he was better than Biden and Harris when it came to the options.
right.
At least we weren't going to end up, with more people coming over and doing more harm to our people. At least the border was going to get secured quickly, which it did. At least we got that out of it. You
Right.
know, if it had been Kamala Harris who had gotten it, that border would still be open.
Correct.
So, even if we get that one win from Trump for 4 years that the border's closed, I'll take it.
Mm.
Everything else he's probably going to fail at, and I can accept it, whatever. But I mean, it could be worse.
Nah,
It could be
see,
far worse.
I think we'll see some more successes than,
I ain't holding my breath because
well,
they literally just ran Doge for how many months to do absolutely jack shit with the recommendations.
yeah, but that wasn't Trump. That was,
It was supposed to be part of his big beautiful bill.
yeah.
He wrote
And
that bill
who,
himself according to him.
exactly, but who blocked it? He didn't.
It wasn't blocked. It was passed in the Senate. The House is what is
No,
going at it
the
now.
Senate blocked it.
I thought that was the House of
No,
Representatives that
ma'am.
was waiting.
Oh, no, no, no. The Senate blocked it. It got blocked by Thune, and,
Oh, Rand Paul said no to it too. That's right.
correct. That's right. And why? So there's more to,
Well, from what I was seeing in that bill, it's a lot more spending than it is saving.
that's what they claim.
Well, I
Uh,
was trying to read over it the other day, and
yeah,
it was a lot more spending than it was savings.
correct. But there's a lot to that whole piece in of itself as well that we would have to take a look at separately. But
Hmm.
the Doge pieces in general were not codified um, by the Senate nor by the representatives, that they blocked it. So all of the work that Doge did, they the just got blown over by. They decided, nope, we're not going to do it. Musk was in here. He had his hands in here. We're not going to touch it. And oh well, too bad, too sad. All that work, that how many months? 5 months worth of work that was done, and it
Uh-huh.
just was pushed aside. Yep,
And see, this is again where bureaucracy
correct,
is in charge, not us.
correct. And so, how is that any different than having? Oh my God, I can't even frickin' walk here. Um, How is that any different than if you would have had a auditor come in to audit your books, or to say, you have to make these changes to your procedures? And they gave us, the American people, a big fuck you. They were,
Uh-huh.
we're not going to do this. Oh shit, I am going to
Because
be.
they're the ones who will get in trouble. They will lose out on all those kickbacks that they were getting.
That's correct. It's all about the kickbacks. Yep.
Again, once corruption sets in, it's a big problem.
And how do we stop the corruption?
Oh, we need to do a reset on Congress, fire all of them, even if
Oh,
we like them, fire them all across the board and start fresh.
yeah, and how?
And come in with better limitations on Congress and no lobbyists and no billionaire philanthropists with their heads up their asses thinking they're going to control everything.
And how's that? And how? See, that's the biggest problem or concern that I have, of how does that actually get done? And are you saying that goes with the yeah, the what you call it, that we can't think of the name of it?
The General Assembly, the
Yes.
state
Is it?
assemblies.
Yes.
Yes,
Is that done through them?
yes, it would be.
Okay, so all of the states don't have that. We need what, 38 of them, and they're not
There's only like 12 or
right.
13.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, some more states need to get their asses in gear.
So,
I'm all for it.
yeah, so we're not even together. Shit, I gotta sit down or
They call us the United States, but we're not that united after all.
and that's, oh my God. And that's because we have given up, right?
Oh,
All of
we gave up
us.
a lot of our rights to the federal government unnecessarily.
Wow. This is
Yep,
really a messed up situation.
yeah. And this guy is going to sit here and try blaming just Trump for all this corruption, but not thinking about all the corruption of the other people, too. And like I always say, if you're going to point it out at one, you better point it out at all, across the board, fairly unbiased.
Right. And
And
again, I go back to, they all are corrupt in some form or fashion. Um,
mm-hmm.
I don't, I don't know who's worse, right?
Art says we can call a constitutional convention, but that may open a can of worms more than fix anything. Yeah,
What
that's
is,
true.
what's that? I don't know what that is.
I've heard, hold on. I'm trying to. I want to word this right. I
Okay.
don't want to misword this. An explanation.
Okay.
Hold on. I know what he's talking about, but with my
I
brain the
don't
way
think
it
I've
is,
ever heard it before.
okay, is a gathering of delegates who meet to create or revise a constitution, or the process, or to propose amendments to an existing one. These conventions are usually convened to address specific problems or needs within the nation's government. It can be called by a variety of actors, including state legislators and federal government. So basically, it's one giant state assembly. It's like a national wide
Yeah.
assembly
So it's a
that
bunch. It's another bunch of politicians, though, right?
yes, but state level politicians finally pulling rank.
Okay. And the chances of that occurring are probably slim to none.
Well, the last time it basically happened was when we went through the civil rights movements and we added those to the Constitution.
Wow.
Yeah, so 60-ish years ago was the
Yeah.
last time there was basically a state convention done.
Real. Wow. Okay. I'm clueless as to all of that. Boy, I feel stupid.
Well, it was written into the Constitution to give us the right as states to override the federal government on some things.
Yes, I understand that, but I'm just saying I feel stupid as to being able to, do anything about the situation.
Well, again, not enough people, even in politics, understand the Constitution.
Mhm.
I mean, seriously. They're in politics, but they don't even understand it.
Right. So you hear people like
It
like
takes some, it takes, I believe it's 32 of the 50 states have to convene.
okay.
Um, it's either 32 or 38. So it's more than half, well over half. Have if they join together, they can convene to force a change.
So but I've never heard anybody like a Mark Levin,
Oh, they're
Ben,
never going to talk about it.
exactly, Ben Shapiro, uh, uh, what's his face, any of those that talk about the Constitution. Uh, I can see their face, but I can't call their names out right now.
Yeah, they claim to
Any
be
of,
such great patriots and with
yeah,
such a high knowledge, but
right.
really they don't know jack shit, and they're just, fueling fire on whichever side they feel the need to do it in.
Wow. Okay. All right. That that makes me feel like an ass and one that's very unknowledgeable.
Oh no.
No,
Most
it
people
does.
out there do not know about this.
Yeah,
A
but
lot of people do not know we have that option.
it is amazing to know that that's available and that you know it's a right that we have that could be taken to address so many messed up things that I don't know.
Well,
Just
it's hard to get 38 states to agree, 32 to
right,
38 states, whatever the number is,
right.
to actually agree.
Okay. Uh,
That's the hardest part of it, is
well,
getting the states.
yeah, and even to get the 38
Oh,
assembly.
it's 34.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just found the number. It's
o-
the legislature of two-thirds of the states, 34 at present, apply for a convention in Congress. It is directed by the Const- Constitution to convene one. So we have to get 34 states. For approval, it is got to be 38 states, which is three-fourths
Okay.
to approve it, but two-thirds to get it going, three-fourths to actually get it done. So
Got it.
good luck.
Yeah. Really good luck.
I
O-
can probably count the number of people in public office or in conservative media who've read the Constitution on one hand and I have fingers left. Exactly what I say. Very few have actually. I mean, and I don't go. I've never read the full Constitution in depth,
Mhm.
but I am familiar with some of this stuff and just from passive reading it.
Right.
And I don't claim to be an expert, and I never will. But I do, like I said, I know what he's talking about, but I wanted to make sure the facts were straight before I conveyed the info.
Well, I appreciate that, Crazy V. I think you brought a lot of information to the forefront that you know I
Yeah,
didn't
I have my.
know.
I definitely have reasons for not liking Trump or parts of Trump. Very strong reasons and very
Right.
well backed reasons.
Right.
And so for this guy to sit here and get mad about Trump, pardoning J6, like, dude, that's the least of my issues with him. And a lot of those people that were held for January 6th were literally held without trial, without charges brought against them. They were
Right.
just held until they could come up with a charge to put on them.
I don't at
I
this
have read the
point.
Constitution and all the Federalist Papers. Welcome to the family.
Yeah. Well, I think with all of the pardons that have been done, then right, I
Uh
don't think
huh.
that they should be permitted to have that carte blanche to pardon uh, people.
Well,
You
again, they do this. for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Publicity, get brownie points for the next
Right.
election.
Yep.
That's why they do this.
Right. But they shouldn't be allowed
And
to
I
have
don't
that
like it.
power.
Oh, I know.
And,
I know. I am not a fan of some of the pardons that have
right.
happened. If it
Just
was
like,
someone who was truly innocent and there was, all these crazy things going on that prevented them from releasing the person, that's one thing.
right.
Or if it was, a one and done mistake. But like Kwame Kilpatrick, he has a list of horrible wrongdoings as tall as he is, and the dude is like 6'4",
Right.
if I remember correctly. So he has a laundry list, and I'm talking 11 font.
Mm-hmm.
Dude is not a good guy. Why the hell was he pardoned?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Detroit was happy to see him locked up. The
Right.
entire city was so glad he got locked up.
Right.
And
So
Trump
then,
goes in, no, he can be free.
so then I also then have to say then I agree that they shouldn't have the right to all these executive orders that they can just write carte blanche as
Uh
well.
huh. Well, like Art says, the pardon was meant to be used in cases where the courts got it wrong, not where the public doesn't like the outcome. Yep.
Say
And
that again. Say
he
that.
said, pardon the pardon was meant to be used in cases where the courts got it wrong, not where the public doesn't like the outcome.
Okay.
And I agree with him. And by the way, we are only like 30, 40 seconds in, so we do got to hit play.
Okay.
We've been
Go ahead.
talking about this for like a half an hour now.
Well, hey, it works well when you're Benadrylled up and when you're burning your muscles. So, hey,
Yeah.
it's
But I
working.
did have some good points about why saying this about Trump's opinions were wrong when he
Right.
could have used so much better ones than just the
Right.
J6ers. Let's go
Correct.
back to the. Hold on. I got some bones to pick from the first round. Let's go back and talk about those.
Yeah.
Why are you worried about the J6ers? There's so much worse you could throw out there. Why are they
Right.
only going with the ones that fuel the leftist nut jobs,
Right.
not the legitimate arguments?
Mm-hmm.
So, but
And in
let's
that
listen
whole
in because I
time,
know we're going to complain more.
yeah, and in that whole time that you've been complaining about how long we've been fucking around time-wise, wasting time, I've gone from the new living room into the bedroom. So, shut up.
Got to get in the shower anyway, according to Art.
There you go. All right, babe, keep it going.
Let me hit play so we can get through this video instead of dragging this video out for 4 days.
Well, this video might get us today at least.
Yeah, today and possibly tomorrow because the other
Uh,
one's just as messed up and
there
ridiculous.
you go.
So let's continue.
And then sympathizes with foreign dictators, then the reconstruction of the whole American economy on lines that empower the state and create more ability of the state to dispense favors, attacks on science, medicine, and otherwise objective sources of information, and then finally, self-enrichment by the president, his family, his friends. And one of your many great contributions to say this last is the binding agent that unites all the others. Can you take it from there and explain how we should think about this?
So if you look around the world, if you look at what links modern dictators and stipulate that modern dictators have very different ideologies, you have nationalist Russia and communist China and theocratic Iran and whatever North Korea is and the Bolivarian socialists in Venezuela. And you ask, what is it they have in common? Why do they support one another, which they do? Why do they help keep one another in power, which they do? There's a whole consortia of countries keeping the Venezuelan dictator Maduro in power, for example, even though they would seem to have nothing in common. One of the answers is that they all share an interest in stealing and hiding money, and in helping one another evade the sanctions that have been set up to prevent them from doing that, and in perpetuating their own, not just their own power, but their own wealth. And there is now a set of systems that exist, some of which are facilitated by the Western financial world, by the offshore banking havens that we created, and the shell company system that we created that helps people hide money. But it's the one thing that they have all in common, and it's the one thing that they all pursue. It's also true that when you have a declining democracy or a mixed system, as you had in Russia, for example, in the 90s, the moment when the regime begins to really earn money is also often the moment when they really feel the need to crack down on civil liberties, because the most effective protest movements, and Russia is the best example of this, are often the ones that organize around corruption. Because people can see and feel corruption. Ordinary people, you don't need to know, you don't have to read John Stuart Mill or know the history of the American Constitution, or even have much of an education. You can be living in rural Ukraine or in Somalia, and you can intuitively understand that it's wrong for some people to be able to steal and keep their money, whereas other people are very poor. And so this is often the motivating and organizing idea of anti-authoritarian movements. Actually, the Ukrainian Revolution of 2014, which was the moment when a lot of young Ukrainians went out on the street. They were waving EU flags. They were calling for an end of their authoritarian regime, which was at that time closely linked to Russia. That was an anti-corruption movement that was classic in this sense. So Ukrainians understood that they were poor because their leaders were rich. They understood that their leaders were tied to Russia. They imagined being part of Europe, being part of the transatlantic world as a way to have the rule of law and to avoid that. And this was, and when they won, this was the thing that panicked Putin, because it's that kind of rebellion and that kind of movement that he's most afraid of inside his own country. And indeed, the one really successful opposition leader in Russia over the last decade was Alexei Navalny. His movement was an anti-corruption movement. His organization was called the Anti-Corruption Foundation. And he was murdered, in essence, for successfully galvanizing Russians around that theme. So this is both the thing that unifies modern dictators, and it's also the thing that often unifies their opponents. And so the fact that the Trump administration is moving so quickly in a kleptocratic direction and beginning to eliminate one by one all kinds of norms, defying all kinds of laws, changing existing laws to enable theft, essentially, and to enable corruption, should really alarm us, because this is very often what precedes a broader crackdown.
I want to pause this here.
Wherever
he's not the only one who has made changes to allow corruption. Look what all of the presidents and all of the Congress have been doing. Again, we have a balance of powers. So Trump couldn't get away with becoming a dictatorship unless the Congress allowed it and the Supreme Court allowed it. That's why we have the balance. So all of this corruption that's set in is based off of what has been done that led to him being able to do it, that Congress and the Supreme Court say it's okay. Do they not realize how ridiculous they sound by saying he's doing this all on his own? No, it's been built up over years from corrupt politicians over the decades that have allowed him to come in and do this. And now you all are mad because he's undoing it, or claims to be undoing it. Is it just me, or, does anyone else see it that way? One second, and now we're going to hit play again. Try to get through this.
Wherever you see a rapidly accumulating a regime that is rapidly accumulating money and is rapidly enriching itself, you will see some kind of resistance movement and some kind of crackdown afterwards. And I suppose that's why I'm so concerned about it.
In President Trump's first term, he directed money to himself in a way that had never before been seen by an American president, never remotely, like not in the same neighborhood. He would stay in his hotel, so the Secret Service would pay him money to protect him. He would make clear to anyone from foreign nations that if they wanted his attention, they had better stay overnight at his hotel and hold their events in his hotel. At the beginning of his presidency, when he won by surprise in 2016, a number of the Persian Gulf states, which had planned events at other hotels in early parts for Christmas 2016, hastily rebooked at the Trump Hotel to gain favor. He also moved a lot of party money, not only public money, but if you were a Republican and you wanted his endorsement, you would have this event at his hotel. That's a lot of money. On the other hand, it's like something you'd expect from like a crooked, governor, not someone who controls the United States. And it looks like in his second term, he thought, if I ever get another chance, this time I'm going to think big. And it looks as if through his very mysterious crypto ventures, hundreds of millions of dollars, if not more, are moving from all kinds of people all over the planet to himself and to his family. And again, this is shadowy, can't be very precise, but it looks.
Now, if this is accurate, it's still not much different than what Biden had his son doing. And hi, Four Corners, good to see you here. It's not much different than what Biden was running through, and Dee disappeared probably because I couldn't hear her.
What?
It might have to be me. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I told you I had to go get water.
And I figured you did. But I want to put out this. Say it again.
With the rest of I have a jug actually that I'm carrying of the rest of the water, and I'm planting my ass in this bed, and I am not getting up until tomorrow.
Amen. Amen, sister. Take it easy.
I do have a bottle of Benadryl if you want me to take one.
I don't think that's wise right now.
All right, then I won't. All right.
However, I am getting an
That's not.
albuterol
You're
ready
all mine,
because
babe.
I'm wheezy.
You're wheezy. That's not good. You know, you've been dealing with this shit going on. What? This is your fourth week now?
Oh, easily fourth or fifth. It's going to be all summer long and into the winter. From spring until winter, I go through this every year.
That's ridiculous, crazy V. Well, I can't
Take it up with
complain.
God. He gave me this body. He let me have these genetics. It's God's problem, not mine.
Yeah. I mean, that's no different, I guess, than what I go through 3 to 4 times a year, right?
Yep.
I just have mine spread out. That's all.
But I want
Whew.
to point out this guy is sitting here complaining that Trump, if you wanted him to do anything, you had to stay in his motels. If you wanted to talk to him from another country, it had to be hosted in his hotels. And he made
Right?
money off of it. Okay, sure. Biden's family, how much money? His brothers in the construction business, his son in the whatever the fuck it was. I mean, come on. They all do stupid shit like this. Let's put them all under the spotlight. Quit just
Well,
assuming it's only Trump.
yeah, and it's just not uh Trump that's doing this or Biden that's doing this.
It's a
It's
lot of them.
uh-huh. Yeah, that's the problem. You know, it uh it escalates to many, family, friends, whatever the hell you want to call them. Uh but it does get perpetuated throughout the the country. It's just that's the way it is.
Yep.
It's somebody's making money off of their being in office. I mean, palms are greased. There's just no doubt about it. That's what's occurring.
Yes, and it's across the board.
Uh
That's
huh.
what I mean. I've had people get mad at me for saying America is not much better than Ukraine or Russia right now.
Correct. That's
And
correct.
people get very mad at me for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't give a shit. I stand by what I said.
Right. And it's the truth. It's actually what's going on. So if it isn't Trump doing it or Biden doing it, it's Obama doing it. And imagine what's happening uh, after, they leave office or during their tenure in office, what's going on. What's happening after the fact, when they leave,
Uh-huh.
um, for them to get their comeuppance. They're all making some type of money off of what they're doing.
Yes, and
I
I'm not,
mean,
and again, this is why I say the entire system is messed up
correct. Yeah,
here. And
exactly.
I say Trump is no better than Biden, just in a different way because he's pushing what we think is a better for our country. But
Right,
he's still corrupt. He's got to do corrupt things to get these policies through.
right. I
And
don't
I want to
disagree.
fix America before I fix Ukraine or Russia or anywhere else.
Right. I don't disagree.
So, yeah. He wants this
I
guy
mean
here
that
and this chick want to say Trump's a dictator. We've had dictators. They just rotate every 4 years.
right. And I mean, and it's no different than uh you have a meeting and that meeting involves, going to a lunch and who picks up the tab for the lunch, right?
Not me. Oh,
And
wait.
then
Yes, it is taxpayer dollars 9 times out of
uh-huh,
10.
uh-huh,
And this is something, again, people don't realize. And I've said it since I was probably 12 or 13 years old. We're not in any way a democracy or a constitutional republic. We have a where like it's a dictatorship behind the guise of freedom. We have the illusion that we're free when we're really not. I have said this for so long. And again, a lot of my teachers weren't fond of me because I was saying this shit out loud in school.
Right.
We have a dictator every 4 to 8 years. It just cycles through, but nothing really changes, does it?
Hmm. It doesn't. And the key
And
to
if
all
anyone thinks Trump's really going to make a big difference, I got news for you. It's probably just going to be undone in 4 years.
and the difference is truly the people that are behind the scenes, right? The
Yeah.
it's the
Quit
people.
blaming Trump as a dictator. He's not the one necessarily pulling all the strings.
Correct.
He's just the face of it.
And it's the people that are uh, you know, making the decisions of there'll be this meeting, say, at this restaurant, or, we're going to meet here, or we're going to go to this hotel and meet over here. And, uh,
And why are they doing all of this meeting out in the hidden corners instead of out in public in front of the cameras?
right? That's
And
true.
yes, Trump meeting with the president of South Africa and Ukraine and all that and putting on a show for the people.
Right.
That's all for show. You know the real dirty deals are going on when the cameras are gone. They
Right.
put on a tough presence for the cameras, but behind the scenes, nothing's changing. What happened to Russia would end day one.
Mm-hmm.
Russia and Ukraine are calling his bluff.
Yep.
I'm just saying. Again, um, Four Corners said he sent info about the USA being a corporation, which it is.
Mm-hmm.
The people need to get this in their heads and take back our country. Yes, and this is why I'm saying it. And again, yes, Trump's a dictator, but so was Biden, so was Obama, so was Clinton, so were the Bushes. The entire system. It's just a guise of freedom. It's an illusion. The founding fathers wanted us to warned us and gave us control, but we the people are in the dark. And they've slowly weeded this out of education. I talk to historians about this all the time. They have weeded out teaching us this stuff for a reason. I mean, it didn't happen by accident. But I know I'm ranting, so let's get back to the video. We're 5 minutes in of 30. So I'm gonna shut up.
But it looks like vastly more money than in the first term has already moved into his hands in the second.
It is really an extraordinary transformation. I can only attribute it, one, to greater preparation. This time, his family and some of his business contacts were prepared for him to win and had a set of plans ready to go. Should he become president? Also, it's true that, as you say, in the first term there were these small violations. There was another incident when Mike Pence went
I
many
love
miles out of his way to
they're
stay at a Trump
warning
hotel in
about the
Ireland. I mean, there were all kinds
Democrats'
of things like that
violations.
happened, and there was really no resistance. Nobody ever said you're breaking the law. Nobody stopped him. It wasn't even really a major topic of concern among the many things that people were concerned about. But you're right. This time around, it's very, very different. I mean, there are about four different kinds of things happening, and this is one of the reasons it's so hard to keep track of. One is violations of the emoluments clause of the Constitution. This is essentially the clause that says the U.S. president isn't supposed to benefit in any way from relationships with foreigners. Clearly, Trump benefits directly from relationships with foreigners. He was just at his.
Clearly, Biden benefited directly from Ukraine
Mm-hmm.
and China. That we shall we use the word barisma? Yeah. I mean, they're literally just focusing on Trump doing what so many others have done before him. You guys didn't call out the other presidents. Why are you calling out Trump for doing exactly what they did? I don't like hypocrisy, and I'm pointing out the hypocrisy here. If you're going to bitch about Trump, you better bitch about the other presidents too. Am I wrong?
I don't think so.
Trump wears two hats, corporate America and commander in chief. Yep. And we address him as commander. Yeah, not CEO of the nation. This is where I have issues. Every nation needs to make money, but we have a finite amount of money for all the nations on this globe. We are not trading with other planets or other universes or other galaxies in any way, fashion, or form. So we got to find a way to balance this shit out so everyone can live comfortably. because again, as our populations grow, as our governments change, we are limited to this planet. No one's going anywhere anytime soon, so we got to learn to get along and help each other. Money is really a big problem, but it's what makes the world turn right now. Before this, it was salt. Before this, it was gold. Before what we're going through now, there was other ways of trading. It's always something, and they only change what the trade is to make us believe we've progressed somehow. We're no better than we were in the 1800s. We just have better technology. I want to point this out. We have not progressed in any way, fashion, or form from what we were in even the 1400s. There is no progression. There's just changes of the shit that's already there, but it has never actually moved us forward. Sorry, I'm ranting and putting people in an existential dread. I'm going to shut up and we're going to play the video.
Take a Benadryl.
But I mean, if you look at
No,
it, really,
I understand what you're saying. And
it
that's
just
the
drives me nuts that these people want to sit there and point to one thing from a handful of things from one person, but
right.
totally ignore the handful of things from every person before him that gave
Hmm.
him the power to do this. So, yeah, I'm going to shut up. This is one of those topics that piss me off. I hate hypocrisy. You might have to mute me and you handle it from here, D.
Okay.
at his golf course a few weekends ago, where a tournament was taking place that's sponsored by state-owned Saudi companies. The head of the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, which is one of the sponsors, was actually there. So he would have met many Saudi people who are his investors, essentially, and clients who, of course, are also interested in his Middle Eastern policy and American foreign policy. So you could argue that they were there. If maybe it's touchy to say they were trying to buy American foreign policy, but they were certainly trying to influence it. Why else? Why else would they be? Why else would be there? Secondly,
And no
there
one
are
complains about
conflicts of interest,
anyone
and this
else
again is
doing
on a
this.
scale that
So,
we've
yeah.
never seen before. Elon Musk Elon Musk has been put in charge of, with his group of Doge, whoever they are, engineers and internet trolls, have been in charge of taking over and managing regulatory bodies who regulate Musk's own companies. He's also got control
And
and
that
the
is a
power
good
to hire and
point.
fire
No,
people.
hold on. I want to point this out. She makes a good point there about Musk. He's regulating the people who regulate him. It was that for those few months. It's interesting. How
What do
much
you
did
mean?
he
What do you mean?
So he was going over the different branches of the government and all their
Right.
little subsidiaries, and he was telling them where they're hemorrhaging money and losing this and all that. But these are the same companies and corporations that the government put together to regulate him and other people. So he went in and and again, I still think he got some kind of contract out of this, that it was not made public with the government. I swear there's some kind of contract we just don't know about yet.
Hmm.
And now he's pissed because none of his suggestions went through. And I'm wondering if those suggestions going through was the basis of him getting those contracts. If you can get this to work and you can get them to do this, you get these contracts.
Well, he was given a assignment date, that he would have a end date, and
Uh
that
huh.
he would finish on a certain date and leave.
Yeah, but if he didn't get the desirable outcome of Congress passing all this stuff and everyone agreeing to it, he loses out.
Mm.
No wonder he's so pissed over it.
What does he lose?
I
Just
would. I honestly think there's some kind of military or science contracts that were up for grabs.
maybe for his air
SpaceX.
SpaceX
I mean,
or whatever. Yeah,
we have
that's
the Space
possible.
Force branch of the military that nobody's thinking about, and he
Right.
would be great for designing the ships that may be
Right.
needed in the future.
Right. But I didn't think from the get go that anybody was gonna frickin' vote for him to begin with, right? They were just,
Uh
I think
huh.
that they had already planned in advance that they weren't gonna support him.
Cooperate.
Uh
Yeah.
huh. Yeah, because nobody liked him coming in saying that X, Y, and Z was wrong. and that you needed to fix it. That wasn't going to
Yep.
happen. When he found out, all the money that was, either being wasted, abused, spent, any of that, that was obvious. I think that
Uh-huh.
he lost on those merits alone. So
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
uh,
And right now, Elon is pushing that this big beautiful bill not get passed because he feels spited
right.
and slighted and all that other stuff. He's being spiteful. There's the right wording for it. I would get there
Well, I'd
eventually.
be I'd be pissed too. He put in. He didn't take any money. He didn't.
Or so we believe there was no money
Right.
involved. There may have been
Right.
contracts, in my opinion.
Right. Now we got the hiccups. Um. And Congress didn't codify the recommendations that he had. So
Uh-huh.
all of that they did was nothing but a waste of frickin' time.
Well, I mean, the individual corporation places can choose to do this on their own
No,
and
this
make
is
these
no.
changes.
This is what Congress was supposed. This was what the offices
Oh,
in Congress was supposed to do.
okay. So again, I this is where the corruption I've been
Right.
complaining about is all the more proof
Yep.
that shit's not ever going to get fixed, no matter who's in
That's
charge.
correct. And
They can
who?
call Trump a dictator all they want. They can,
Yeah.
again, I don't think we're ever going to see a change.
Right. I agree. I
We're
don't
never
care
going
who.
to see that change.
I don't care who's in there. I don't think there will ever be changes that are necessary to fix what is broken. And remember, I said there was that article that came out. Uh, Crazy Bee.
Yep.
Can you
I'm,
still hear me?
I can still hear you, but I don't know if
Crazy
you can hear
Bee.
me. Yep, she can't hear me again.
Crazy Bee.
I can
I'll
hear
be right
you.
back.
This is the joys of it, but no, I'm so sick of everyone just blaming Trump because he's the oddball out who happened to win and is coming in and shining a light on all the corruption, but nothing's going to change. People have known about the corruption. I figured it out in frickin' middle school. It's never going to change. Never going to change. All that's going to change is the faces of the people who are corrupt. That's the only change that's going to happen.
Can you
Okay,
hear
now
me?
you're back.
Okay. The I think the biggest thing out of this is that uh, remember we looked at that one article that talked about uh, what Doge had done was they identified like the big areas like Social Security, the IRS, uh, what some of the other the Department of Energy, those types of things, right?
Yeah,
They
Department of Education, stuff
right,
like that.
right, but they never got into like the real nitty gritty, down and dirty departments that have been. Uh,
Well, they took on USAID, and man, some
they
of those
did they did
need to
manage
go.
that, right? But the other
That shit
area,
needs to go.
right? But other areas they have not they've not been able to access, and that's where the biggest concern lied in what we had looked at, saying this is where the real changes have to be made, right? This is where the real uh, change to the departments need made, where the real potential thefts could be occurring and nobody could get in to do any type of audit. And that's where that stuff needed to occur. And it wasn't. And so if it's not Doge, it needs to be somebody else. I mean, it's supposed to be the Office of professional affairs and the OMB, but they apparently are not getting done what needs to get done. So
No.
who's supposed to be the auditor of all these places?
That's why I've always said I would like civilian audits every couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I want civilian audits. Doge basically was the civilian audit that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, I very much liked what I liked that someone was going in and at least looking, keeping an eye on things. I want to see this routinely. And you know how many states are implementing a Doge program? There's a lot that have started implementing it in their own regions. I like the idea of having civilians come in and audit the shit out of the government. But what good is it if nothing is done? That's always my problem. I'm sick of everyone putting forth all these grand gestures, but if nothing actually gets fixed, it's a waste of time, effort, and again, money. So I will hold my ground on. I want to see the fixes. I don't care how you get to them. Just fix the shit.
Right.
I don't give a shit if it's done behind the scenes in the shadows, but it gets fixed. All I
Right.
want is it fixed.
I agree.
When I sit here and say my water heater's broken, I don't give two shits how you do it. Make it work. I don't
Uh-huh.
care if it's duct tape. I don't care if it's a new replaced water heater. Just make the fucker work.
Mm.
Same with the government. Make it work. We need to get back to our history and ask, how did this happen? How this happened was corrupt people weaseled their way in over time. Honorable men did not get to run this country, the way Art was pointing out in the comment before. And again, how are we going to teach our kids history if we don't have a say over the schools?
Right. The North says the founders assumed, step back
Oh,
up. The
yep.
founders assumed the government would be run by honorable men. What's that? When
When
that's
that's no
no
longer
longer
true,
true, there's
there's
nothing
nothing
left.
left.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The tens or the I can't read that.
The
What,
IGs, the IGs were reporting on the fraud and waste, but Congress, who they reported to, did nothing. Mu-
yeah.
Put it back up. Musk didn't find anything we didn't already know about.
Yeah, that's one thing I said too. It's not new to me. The government is supposed to be run by we the people. Yeah, tell that to the corrupt politicians who
Mm-hmm.
handed it over, and the state level handed it to the federal, and the federal's like, "Oh, no problem, thank you." And now that we want it back, they're like, "What do you mean? What? That's not your rights. They're tramping on your rights. We're supposed to be in charge." Yeah, that's the shit we're seeing right now. But okay, I'm gonna shut up. We still got to get through some more of this because we've got a little under 20 minutes left of the show, and we're like what 7 minutes in. So I'm gonna shut up again.
at agencies that subsidize his companies. So, in other words, he can determine government policy towards his own companies. He can direct money towards his companies if he wants to. He can eliminate regulations of his companies if he wants to. And he is somebody who has been found in violation of all kinds of regulations, pollution regulations, other kinds of legal issues have plagued a lot of his companies from the beginning. And he now has been given a mechanism to escape that. And this is and I should say he's just the most egregious version of this. There are many people throughout this administration who have kept their private interests, who haven't recuse themselves from
I
investment issues.
agree. I
Who
actually
have never
agree
less
with her
tenure jobs.
here.
Thirdly, there are legal
And it's not
changes.
just
There
this
are
administration, though.
laws that were on the books that the Trump Department of Justice or the Treasury Department will not enforce. There's something called the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. This was designed to forbid U.S. Entities from bribing companies and abroad, and that's now that law is now not being enforced. There's also a Corporate Transparency Act, which was designed to force the owners of shell companies and anonymous properties to register their names so that when someone bought, for example, an apartment in a Trump building, we would know who the real owner was. Is it, Joe Smith down the street, or is it a Kazakh billionaire who's interested in having influence on the U.S. government? And they have now said they will not be enforcing that law either. And then finally, there is outright corruption. So Trump has created a cryptocurrency company, World Liberty Financial, which appears to be attracting investors who have a direct interest either in escaping a regulation or in some cases a lawsuit or an indictment by the federal government, or who have some interest in influencing Trump or his family in some other way. And as you say, there may be hundreds of millions of dollars flowing into this project and into others. We have no clear way to keep track of it. We don't know the exact relationship between those investors and decisions made by the Treasury Department or the Justice Department. And it is again corruption and self-dealing on a scale that we've never seen in American history. And this really puts this administration in a completely different league.
There's nothing like it, because the presidencies that are thought of as corrupt, Harding, Ulysses Grant, what happened there was you had typically an inattentive president, or in Grant's case, a president who was a little too protective of his beloved wife's relatives, and turned a blind eye to corrupt practices by people around him. And maybe the president should have known what was going on. In Grant's case, Grant was obviously no fool. He should have known what was going on. Harding was more of a fool. But the presidents themselves, the money didn't stick to them. And people remember Teapot Dome as being associated with Harding. But Harding didn't benefit from Teapot Dome. He just was ineffective and inattentive. In the same way, Grant didn't get rich as president. His wife's family picked up some lucrative positions and made dirty tens and maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars in the money of the day. But again, Grant was inattentive and overprotective. FDR allowed some of his children to engage in business practices that they should not have. No suggestion that any of it stuck to him. Again, inattentive and overindulgent. Those are the practices. It has never been a case of money flowing into the hands of a president as president on this kind of scale. Now, one of the questions that will, I'm sure, be occurring to many people who watch and listen is, isn't this illegal? And you've cited some specific laws. There's also, we discussed this a couple of weeks ago with Peter Keisler, the former acting attorney general. There are general background statutes that say you can't use public office at all in any way that benefits yourself. Even if we haven't specified this is forbidden, there's a general, and one more thing, you can't do this. But as you were saying, all of this depends on the president to enforce the law. And if the president is determined not to and punishes those who try and removes those who try, the system in the end cannot be enforced against the wish of the president. At least it's not so long as he has Congress on his side.
Presumably the body that would be responsible for enforcing corruption laws against the president is the Department of Justice. And the Department of Justice in this administration is fully controlled by the president. There's a very political...
I want to point out that this happens under every administration. Again, just a reminder, this is not new to our politics.
Right.
This has been ongoing since, I'd say, World War I era. I mean, hell, you could go all the way back to the Civil War, really, is when it really went downhill from there. I'm sorry, you were saying something and I accidentally overtalked.
No. I was agreeing with you.
Oh, yeah. It's illegal if you can prove it.
Yeah, and I said I think it goes back further than World War I, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Abraham Lincoln was far from the wonderful president they made him out to be.
Right.
I learned that, and you hear me bitch about it all the time.
Yeah, in fact, I think you should do a piece on him in Questions That Need Answers.
Oh, no, I don't want to rival Razor Fist. He did a really good Razor rant on that.
Okay.
He did a great video.
How about if you do a reaction to it?
No, that would be fun. I don't think he would have a problem. I've chatted with him a few times on X. I don't think he would have an issue with it.
Well, why don't you ask
I need to find him again. I forgot to follow him on my other account.
Right.
On the new one.
Because you're so bad. So why don't you get in touch with him and ask him, and then you could put your 2 cents in.
Well, as long as I follow the Freedom of Free and Fair Use Act, I don't have he won't have a problem.
Right.
And as long as I'm not using him to, do anything wrong. I mean, I'm basically agreeing with him. Why would he complain?
Right. I think you should
Art
do that.
says it's possible to go back maybe 50 years after the founding. Yes, that's true. The District of Columbia Act of 1871, which I've been reading that little by little. I have it pulled up. It's actually one of my open tabs that I have been slowly reading, is that act that you sent me. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, the District of Columbia Act, basically they told these people, we're taking your land, screw you. Here's our new capital.
Yeah, I think that would be a great series, Crazy Bee. And if you think it's appropriate for Wrecked Sisters, then let's do it.
I think it would be. Because, again, I could go on and on and on and on. And this is one of those topics that I am literally sitting here biting my tongue because I have something to say. And most of it I agree with them. This is wrong. This is wrong. But how about you point out the other 100 well, not 100,
Mm-hmm.
the other 40 something presidents that have screwed it up along the way.
Right.
And I said 40 something presidents for a reason.
Well, we can discuss that, how you want to handle that
Yeah,
offline.
that's a longer, or again, this goes back to the corrupt politicians topic we're on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a single president who hasn't been corrupt in living history, in my opinion. No one's perfect.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Anyways, I know we're only 10 minutes in. I know I got to break this up every few minutes for the freedom of free and fair use stuff.
Well,
But
we sure as hell broken it up, and I can
yeah,
tell
I'd
that
love to see them try to copyright me because I have plenty to say in agreement. And I would like to add, you should also point this out about all the other presidents. You guys want to do this in depth dive in how corrupt Trump is? Well, how about you do this with the other ones?
right. And
Please.
I could see that the Benadryl is wearing off.
Yes, it is.
For
And it's
those of
hence
you
the
that have
wheeziness
joined us late, Crazy Bee was in a Benadryl fog earlier today.
most of the day.
Yes. And when I didn't get a chance to contact her till late because I was in a JJ fog myself. And between the two of us, we didn't make one good person. And
Nope. But
you,
that's fun to do.
yeah, but you were,
I was out of it.
oh yeah,
I
this
I,
was
I know I
probably,
was.
yeah, this was probably the worst I had ever seen her.
Yeah, but it could have been better. But it could have been worse. I could have taken 200 milligrams, which is not wise to do, by the way. So don't ever do it. But I'm just pointing out I was capable of doing such a thing, but I'm not going to.
Wow. It was very entertaining. You know, I had the baby finally asleep, and she had to have me cracking up. It was the funniest
Yeah.
shit I've ever heard her say. Yeah.
I,
Or,
I, I- I'm like, I feel like I'm in a Benadryl haze, like I've taken Benadryl and I'm fighting the sleepiness. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I did it. I took 75 milligrams at 8 o'clock in the morning. No wonder why I'm still messed up at noon.
mm-hmm.
Makes sense. But let's hit play and try to get a bit further. In worst cases, we can finish this off tomorrow with me bitching and complaining even more.
Oh
Very
Lord, I have a
political.
headache already.
Take some Excedrin in advance because y'all are gonna hear me
That and
like
my Diet
motherfucker.
Mountain
I
Dew, right?
agree these are
Wait,
bad things Trump did, but what about the other ones?
right. Wait, I'm trying to get a day off tomorrow. So if I get one from Leslie, I want one from you too.
I know,
I
I
know.
know,
It ain't gonna happen, so don't worry.
but kindly pointing out, we set this up for the fun of it,
I
and you can take a day off if you need to, and I could take a day off.
I
Hell, we
know.
could take a day off together if we need to.
Yeah, fuck
We're the
the sheriff.
bosses.
Who cares? Let the chat handle it, right? We'll
That was the point today. Is if we both
yeah,
passed out, the chat could handle it from
yeah,
here.
yep,
Eventually, it'll shut off at like
right.
3 or 4 hour mark.
Exactly. Yep.
All
They're
right.
capable. In fact, they might be smarter than we are. So
Uh huh.
All right, go for it, Crazy B.
All right.
Very partisan group of people in charge of it. And we're hearing all the time, I'm sure you've heard this as well, about current employees of the Department of Justice resigning. Some have done it publicly, some have done it more quietly. They're looking for jobs afterwards and they don't want to be in the newspapers. But there are many people who are resigning because the department isn't doing its job, not just in terms of enforcing the laws on the president, but everyone else. And so what we're going to have very soon is a very, very partisan group of lawyers or pseudo lawyers who are supposed to be enforcing the law, but who are all there serving at the pleasure of the president, not there to enforce the Constitution or the legal system. It's always a tough thing. I've encountered this problem in other countries. I mean, sometimes it's called the chief prosecutor, in our system it's called the attorney general. It's always a tough thing to say that person is independent of the president, even though they're appointed by the president. I mean, they're meant to act independently. In theory, they should have the mentality of someone acting independently. And that's always a touchy thing to ensure. But at least in the last, in modern American history, those people have sought to attain and to portray some kind of independence. They take an oath not to the president personally, but to the legal system, to the law. They are there. They attract the best lawyers in the country, very young, idealistic people, because those are people who want to work for the U.S. government, for the American people, not for the personal benefit, the financial benefit of the president. And I'm sure listeners can point to many exceptions and moments when this hasn't, the system hasn't worked. But that was the theory of it. That was the idea. How do you get and ensure rule of law? You get it by having people inside the system who have some kind of independence, some sense of independence, and some of this is not ensured by some statute in the Constitution or some legal rule. It's ensured by the ethos of the people who go to work for the Department of Justice, or the ethos of people who become judges. They are people don't become a judge, they don't become a federal judge because they want to enrich the president's family. They do it because they feel some fealty to the Constitution, and that system has worked up until now. And now we will see whether this second Trump administration can break it. I would add one other thing, which is that we know that people who were being asked for promotion and who were being up for promotion inside the Department of Justice, some of them have been asked very political questions. For example, what do you think happened on January 6th? And the right answer, of course, is that the great American patriots rose up to ensure that the correctly elected president, Donald Trump, would remain in office. And people who are unable to say that, because of course it's not true, and so if you're saying it, you're lying, they're not going to get promoted in Trump's Department of Justice. So we're going to have a very different body of people seeking to enforce the law, and you can already see the results.
Yeah, bad character becomes a bona fide job qualification.
Yeah.
Well, you point to something here that, and this is how this becomes a linking theme. When you're doing a backsliding democracy, we're not, of course, this is not a full-blown dictatorship like Maduro's Venezuela. This is a backsliding democracy like those we've seen in other parts of the world, in Central and Eastern Europe, and perhaps in parts.
I love the way they use the term backsliding democracy.
Mm-hmm.
That happened long the fuck ago. Like I said, we have a new dictator every 4 years, but they're pushing the same shit that the previous one did. They're basically enforcing that. Art brought up a good point. The attorney general never was independent of the president. That's been a legal fiction in the country for decades. There's nothing in the Constitution that makes some sort of independent office. And we're not a democracy. Exactly. We're a constitutional republic with democratic representation. Get that through some people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Yes. But again, all of this is an illusion at this point because none of us actually have a frickin' say on any of this shit. We get to vote, but what good is voting when the elections are rigged?
Right.
It's an illusion that you have a choice.
And you wonder why so many people, like my mother, never voted because of that illusion.
Oh, my son refuses. He's like, what's the point? My son literally says, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
He knows it. He's disillusioned like everybody else.
Right.
I go through the motions hoping one time we'll have an actual free and fair election that's not been rigged in some way, fashion, or form. The way I see it is Trump was the better cheater than Kamala Harris. He found a way to do it better. Literally, our elections are made the best cheater win. The founders saw democracy as mob rule. That's why we're not a democracy. Yep, I know. We can sit here and scream it till we're blue in the face. Nothing's changing. Nothing's changing whatsoever.
What's Four Corners say? Constitutional republic. I thought that said report.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
No.
Yeah, we can't see either, so whatever.
Yeah, my eyes are all swollen from my allergies.
I'm like, we have a constitutional report? Where's that at?
We have a constitutional republic with democratic representation.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing ever gets done. I'm going to point that out again. But we have 7 minutes left. Do we want to bother, or do we want to pick up where we left off tomorrow?
Can we go a little further on this?
Yeah, I can take it a few more minutes. That's
Okay,
fine.
go ahead.
Oh, if I can get my
and
mouse
perhaps
to
across
work.
East Asia as well. It becomes quite dangerous to be the chief executive because you're accumulating all this money. There are actually statutes on the books that say you're not supposed to do this. And there are broken but still present parts of the bureaucracy that are theoretically supposed to enforce these laws against you. So you need, for self-preservation, one by one to shut them down. And that is, I think, the linking point between Donald Trump's repressive agenda and his corruption agenda. The corruption agenda is possibly legally dangerous unless you break also all the rest of the state.
Yeah, no, he's going to have to break a lot of institutions. He will have to, I mean, he's seeking to break the Department of Justice right now. He will have to break the FBI, which he's already partway towards doing that by putting, the extreme partisan Kash Patel in charge of it. He's going to have to break, he may eventually have to break the federal, the federal judicial bench. I mean, these are, the people who are the judges in our political system at the federal level are all people, I mean, including maybe even especially the conservatives, are all people who have made the Constitution a kind of fetish. These are often constitutional originalists, people whose theory of the judiciary is that we should hew as closely as possible to the letter and the spirit of the law as it was written in the 18th century. So he will have to either defy all of those people or find some way of getting around them or find some way of intimidating them if he is to continue. So you're right, this creates an enormous interest that he has and many of the people around him have to continue breaking and subjugating those institutions. Plus, there's a whole host of other, I mean, anybody whose job is transparency. That includes journalists. That includes investigative groups. The consortia of journalists and NGOs who've been created over the years to do investigative reporting. A lot of those are going to become targets, and some already have been. Either targets of smear campaigns on Twitter, or maybe they will even be investigated by the administration itself. All of those things, those transparency bodies, those legal bodies, all of them will have to be somehow pushed out of the way if this accumulation of funds is to continue.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that Trump and his defenders often say is they feel uniquely persecuted. No president has ever been investigated as much. No president has been convicted of crimes before. No president has been impeached twice, and they don't connect any of these results to the predicates of their own action. But they're going to feel what is revealing about those comments is they reveal how endangered Trump and the people around him feel. I mean, even if in the end the American political system cannot hold a president to account, which looks like something we discovered about the system in the Biden years, that you had a president trying to overthrow the government of the United States. There's lots of evidence of taking bribes,
It was not
stolen
an attempt
documents,
to overthrow.
and everybody seemed to make a kind of collective
I want
unspoken
to point
decision.
out, if Americans really wanted to overthrow the government, we could, in a heartbeat. Well, I mean, there would be some. I wouldn't say in a heartbeat. Well, if we wanted to, we would. We've done it before, more than once, and we'll do it again if we need to. We just don't feel the need to yet.
I don't believe that any American really would.
Oh, I think we go. I think there would. All it takes is a move to remove our guns from us. The second there's a ban on guns, oh, you watch the movement that'll come out. Ain't no one willingly handing that shit over.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But in general, for some of this other bullshit that's going on, I don't see anybody saying, "Oh yeah, we need to get a group together to fight against this." I really don't. I think Americans have become
Complacent.
complacent. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Very much so. And that's why I'm out here bitching and complaining and moaning and whining and yelling and cussing. And y'all,
And that's
I
why,
know I'm preaching to the choir in the chat here.
right,
These two definitely know what I'm talking about.
right,
They know
and
what you're talking
that
about.
and that's why Wrecked Sisters was created.
Hmm. Oh,
Was
yeah.
because of the bitching between the two of us, right? Every morning.
Something will finally get done.
I
Not,
mean,
not my dishes, not the laundry, not the
mhm,
disinfecting of the bathroom, but the message gets out that
mhm.
all political parties are corrupt.
Yeah, what we'd spend hours sometimes. We'd start at 8 a.m. and
Uh huh.
the next thing you know, it's lunchtime, and we'd be like, "Oh my gosh, we got to go," uh,
Hmm.
because stuff had to get done. So that's kind of how we got the podcast up and decided, And again, we said earlier that during the morning, somehow we seem to talk intellectually and use nice big words and have nice sentence structure. And then we
I
get on the
I
podcast.
seem to be reversed today. I was pretty incoherent this morning, and I'm pretty coherent now.
Or maybe you need to be doing a Benadryl every day, so that by the time the podcast hits, that you're a little bit with it. But
Hmm.
somehow, when the podcast hits, we fall to pieces. But whatever, we're having fun,
Oh
and,
yeah.
and hopefully that we kind of grow here. And since we have just a few minutes left, as usual, my spiel is please like, follow, subscribe, comment, share this video, and if possible, donate at least $1. Somebody give us $1. That would be more than Rumble would pay us uh, for one of our videos. So we'd be ever so grateful. We are now $500 in debt, and we're hoping to get out of that debt. Um,
Hmm.
and that's where we're at right now. So hopefully our finances will pick up a little bit. And we will keep things open and honest with you guys of where we're at. We won't keep anything a secret.
What are you up to, Mother?
If we become millionaires, well, we might not tell you all that much money, but we'll get to that point, but we'll see how things go.
Well,
Hopefully we get,
off to
hopefully
DMV. Oh,
it's a little
go
bit
ahead.
late in the day, isn't it? To go to the
He's on the
DMV.
West Coast. He's on the West Coast.
So he's what, 4 hours behind us?
Uh huh. It's like noon.
Okay. Well, good luck. I would have
I'm
went
praying
there.
for you.
I know. I would have went there like early, like as soon as they opened. So he's going kind of on the late side, don't you think? At 2 p.m.? Sounds suspicious.
Ah.
Anyway,
Mute,
I
mute,
think
mute,
we're
mute,
done for
mute,
the
mute,
day,
mute, mute,
Crazy
mute.
B. What do you think?
Hold on. Hold on. Let me see.
Taxes. Just mute.
Hold on. I got to mute for a second.
And hold, please. One moment, please. Crazy B is having technical issues. Uh, Technically, they're not technical issues. They would be.
It wasn't technical, but my son almost knocked over my freaking monitor. And oh my God, everything just fell off. Danny pulled off my keyboard tray last night on my bed.
Mm-hmm.
Bryson's knocking, or Buddy's knocking over my monitors and everything. It's like, what the fudge?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to bust up my stuff. No, I
Yes,
literally
they
had to
are.
hook up my computer tray for my keyboard. I have that little pull-out one in the
Right.
desk. Yeah, Danny's. I told him to get the blankets off the bed to go wash them. What's he do? He takes the computer, the whole thing with it, and a bunch of other stuff fell off. I'm like, geez, oh, Pete,
Lovely.
can't people link? Yeah. Anyways,
And as a reminder, we are live Tuesday through Friday, 3 to 5 o'clock Eastern Standard
hmm,
Time. Uh, Saturdays is Crazy Bees Gaming, and
I got to get back to doing that, but I've been so
yes,
busy doing other things since
right.
summer started. I do more gaming in the winter and fall than I do the summer. and because my life's crazy. But once also
And-
we get a set routine with Rex sisters because it's been shifted around a few times.
right. And we're
Once we get a
still,
really good one, I will be able to do
yes,
more.
and we're still in test mode with Rex Sisters since that brat came along.
Oh,
Uh,
you love them. You know you
and
do.
Friday will be the determining factor of whether or not we stay on Tuesday through Friday. So we shall see what we shall see. Um,
Hmm.
so, in addition to Crazy Bees Gaming, she also has a UFC channel that they watch the fights with. Um, Saturday,
Mostly talk about the fights and just whatever else we feel like.
hmm Saturdays are free, and Sunday and Mondays are Crazy Bees questions that need answers, and that is 3 to 5 p.m. Uh, Eastern Standard Time as well.
Yeah.
And those are any topic that floats Crazy Bee's boat.
Yeah, sometimes I don't decide until the minute I go in there.
Uh huh.
By the way, it
Yeah.
is very random. It is not well thought out, unless, with the exception of a few times. Sometimes I really have good ones, but other times it's like, you know what? I just didn't find anything today. So, okay. And then it's like another time, it's like, holy crap, listen to this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when I say random, I mean
It's
random.
random.
Yeah, it's random.
Like the time I covered the glitter thing that I didn't know about from 2018.
Yeah, there you go. Glitter. Well, who knew there was a glitter shortage? I didn't. So, anyway. All right. Well, Eric's just walking in the door, so we're probably going to
I will.
get into an argument. So,
Yep, I have a child asking me to ask the other child to do the dishes.
uh-huh. So we'll go leave it at that, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.
I think that's a great idea. We'll pick up
Okay?
where we left off, and so it'll be more of me complaining about hypocrisy.
There you go.
Hypocrisy. Who
So
cares about
go
democracy when you have hypocrisy?
right. So
Sorry.
go ahead, say your thing, Crazy Bee.
Y'all stay safe, stay sane, stay sober. We'll be in tomorrow.
All right. Good night.
Good night.